In 2017, a group of 7 friends were wandering through this forest in New Zealand trying to get to this secret swimming spot. And as they're walking along this dirt trail far away from the road and there's no one near them, they suddenly hear this high-pitched, shrill siren sound coming from somewhere off in the forest. And so the group stops, they're listening to the siren, and eventually, after about 30 seconds, the siren stops. And at that point, these 7 friends begin exchanging very curious looks about what they just heard, but ultimately, they shrug it off and just keep on walking. Little did they know, that siren was trying to tell them to turn around and go the other way. But before we get into that
Like,
story,
get the fuck
if
out
you're
of
a
there.
fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place because that's all we do, and we upload once a week. So, if that's of interest to you, please send the like button a beautifully wrapped gift for their birthday, but fill the gift with a spring-loaded boxing glove that punches them right in the face when they open it. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications.
Sounds
so
like
you
some
don't
shit
miss
the
any of
Joker
our
would
weekly
do
uploads. Okay,
from the
let's get
animated
into
series.
today's story.
Siren.
On the morning of Monday, February 6th, 2017,
Blood curse.
a group of 7 friends who were all college-aged and living in New Zealand began packing up their cars and getting ready to drive back to Auckland, the biggest city in New Zealand. The night
Why did that
before,
startle
the
me?
group
Them
had been out
door,
on
them
Lake
door
Tiki
closing
Tapu
sounds.
for a big concert called Flocella, where audience members would listen to the music while floating around on big blow-up rafts and floats.
That sounds
After the
cool.
concert had ended, the group of friends had left the lake and headed to a nearby relative's house where they had a quiet after party with a couple of drinks, and then everyone went to bed a little bit after midnight. This morning, the group had gotten up early because they wanted to get on the road as soon as possible to try to beat the holiday traffic that was sure to crop up that day on the way back to Auckland. February 6th is a big national holiday in New Zealand. It's called Waitangi Day, and it's to commemorate the initial signing of the Treaty of Waitangi, which is considered to be the founding document of the country. But right as the 7 friends had finished packing up their 3 cars and were getting ready to begin their 3-hour drive north to Auckland, one of the friends, a 21-year-old named Rachel De Jong, suggested they take a quick detour before they head back home. Rachel,
Oh shit.
along with
You
another
notice
girl
they
in
did
this
that
group of
sound
friends
cue
named
like, oh, this is
Maddie,
bad.
had several months earlier discovered this secret swimming spot that was located only about 15 minutes away from where they were now, and it happened to be on the way back to Auckland. This swimming spot was this beautiful green-blue pool of fairly deep water that was located in the middle of a forest. This pool was actually a part of the Waikato River. However, this stretch of the river where the pool was either very shallow or dry most of the time. So as a result, this pool actually looked like a standalone body of water. While there was no official trail that led through the forest to this pool of water, there was an unofficial trail. It was basically a dirt trail that cut through the woods that had formed over the years of locals tromping their way to this pool of water. After hearing Rachel's suggestion, the group of friends all agreed that this sounded like a great idea. And so the group piled into their 3 cars, and then by around 11:40 a.m., Rachel and Maddie had directed the convoy all the way to the start of this unofficial dirt trail, which was located right on the side of a winding main road. After pulling their cars safely off to the side of the road, the group got out, and then Rachel and Maddie led them to the start of this trail, and they began walking through the forest. 15 minutes later, at 11:55 a.m., the group was getting very close to the water because the trees up ahead were starting to thin out. But also at 11:55 a.m., the group suddenly stopped because from somewhere out in the forest, way off in front of them, came this loud, shrill siren sound. And it went on for nearly 20 or 30 seconds, and then it just came to a stop. And the group kind of looked around at each other. No one knew what to make of the siren, and so eventually they just kind of shrugged.
I want to say, I know, and I'm doing the story. I just want to talk about his mustache because I know he was in the military. I think he said he was a Navy SEAL. He has the same mustache that I used to have when I was in service, where it doesn't go past the corners of your mouth. And I know I've seen him with like I think it was a beard, or maybe it's just like 5 o'clock shadow. But he has that soul patch there. A lot of guys would try to grow that a little bit, like that, and try to get away with it. Because I've seen quite a few guys where it's like, it's a little bit of hair there, but they always trim it down so is hard to see in passing, but if you sit there and look at him, you'll notice it. And I've seen people that I'm just looking at his face and I was like, yeah, he's doing that mustache. Your mustache can't go past the corners of your mouth. God, I hated that. Oh, I hate it. I don't know. I hated that so much because when I used to do that, I always get it's going past the corners of your mouth. It's always one motherfucker that says it. Everybody else is like, no, it's fine. Because I used to just take the clippers and like go right across my mouth and just cut up. And that would be where the line was at. And like, nah, I see it still going past the corners of your mouth. Like, then I just cut all my fucking hair on my face. Until I had a shaving waiver, so I was able to have like, I didn't have to shave every day. I think I had to shave every 6 days. But yeah, that was just noticing that.
And kept on walking. Within a minute of that siren sound coming to an end, the group had made it to the end of this unofficial dirt track, which placed them at the edge of this beautiful overlook down to the pool they were going to swim in. And so they began one by one climbing down the rocks in front of them, where there were some ropes that had been put up to help people climb down to the water. And so after they got down to the water, all of them stripped down to their bathing suits, they jumped into the pool, and they began swimming out towards the center of the pool, where there were these two big rocks that jutted up.
They're gonna wish they paid attention to that siren.
Miniature islands. And so Rachel and the other women, so 5 of them, they climbed onto one of the rocks, and the 2 men who were part of this group climbed onto the other rock. And so they got up onto these rocks and they're looking around, taking in the sights, and then at 11:58 a.m., another siren blasts across the forest. It's the same sound as the one they heard 3 minutes earlier when they were on the dirt track. And so once again, all 7 of them are kind of looking at each other wondering, what is this siren about? But after the 20 or 30 second long siren came to an end, they glanced around them and there was no sign of any danger. There was no sign of really anything happening at all. It was just this beautiful, peaceful seeming oasis. And so before long, they had forgotten about the siren again, and Rachel...
See, because I can say, like, I know that some people are like, well, I would have did this in this situation, but until you're in that situation, you don't really know. But I've been in, not exactly like this, but similar, where there was a, you hear the a tornado siren. And I remember one time, I heard this when I was living in Mississippi. And you could hear, and all of a sudden you hear that siren go off. Now, it was not a cloudy day. I mean, it was kind of cloudy, but it wasn't like any tornado cloud, no funnel clouds in the sky. And I remember hearing that, and I was riding my bike to my friends, and I heard, I was like, I immediately stopped and was like looking around, like, where's that? Like, and then I said, okay. I didn't go like, oh, I'm just gonna just keep going to my friends' house, because I think I was like over halfway to my friend's house from my house. I was like, should I go back home? And so I rode my bike down to the main street to see where the cars were. Because if I see cars like speeding or trying to hurry and get off the road, then maybe that'll give me some indication. Like, okay, something's going down. I need to seek shelter. And I was like, well, if I'm closer to my friend's house and I am home, it'd be smarter to go to my friend's house. And then when I got to my friend's, I heard it again. And I was like, but then this time it said this is a test. The first time they didn't say it was a test. And that was like, it had to have been another, from where I was at, because I'm trying to think like how long it would take me. This shit, that was years ago. Maybe another 15 minutes. Maybe less than that. Maybe like 10 minutes. And then heard it again. And they're like, "This is a test." And it was like, "This is a test." And it said, "Test." And I was like, "What the?" I was like, "Man, that scared the shit out of me." I didn't know what, because I was like, because it sounded like the tornado alarm. But then at the same time, it was no funnel cloud. So I was like, what are they using that for? Like, what's going on?
Rachel had gotten out her camera and she was taking pictures, and others were taking pictures as well. And then 2 minutes later, at 12 p.m., the siren sounded for a third time.
Okay, especially
Now,
3 times now.
The group has heard the siren 2 other times. And even though the sound of the siren was kind of jarring because it was so high-pitched and shrill and really cut into their ears.
Yeah, it's designed to be that way.
Because they've heard it 2 other times and nothing happened, they all pretty much immediately wrote it off. So the siren sounding for the 3rd time.
I think I would be more concerned.
But when the siren finally stops this 3rd time, something very different began to happen.
Oh, shit.
And the group immediately
Wait a minute. Are they at the... Is there a dam?
Now, I know everyone has a lot to do to prepare for International Pet and Electric Eel Day. From the eel cigarettes to lure the slippery, cuddly little creatures out of the murky deep to the mega-sized pack.
It wouldn't surprise me this actual day.
For post-shock wound care, there's a lot you need to
There's
enjoy
so
this
many
holiday. But what
weird
always
days
happens
now
when you
that
fire
people
up
just
your
make up.
wood-fired laptop and begin looking for these items? You get hit with a pua! Bah! 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 But don't worry, you can get back to doing what you love, petting electrically charged animals in the name of tradition, if you just use NordVPN. A VPN,
wow,
or virtual
I didn't
private
even
network,
think that
is a
was
service that keeps you safe when you browse
service.
the internet. And NordVPN is the brand name in the VPN space. Not only will NordVPN ensure that all of your data stays safely behind their wall of next-generation encryption, but also, most importantly, through their latest feature called Threat Protection,
Well, I
they
already
will
have a
automatically block
VPN,
all those
so-
disgusting puas that keep disrupting your ability to purchase all of your various eel petting supplies. So, you can either
antivirus
sit on the
software.
sidelines this year while your family
But when that's
frolics
done, I'm
about
getting
in
rid
the
of them.
murky pools and calm stretches of the middle and lower Amazon and Orinoco river basins in South America petting truckloads of electric eels. Or you can get NordVPN, and before long, you'll be up to your nostrils in cuddly electric eels looking for a good pet.
I just feel like I wait for him to
Best
say,
deal for
wait,
NordVPN
there's
is
more.
through my YouTube offer. Right now, you can get a 2-year plan at a huge discount, plus 4 additional months for free when you go to nordvpn.com/.
I actually heard
Mr. Ballin.
NordVPN
It's
was actually pretty
risk-free with
good.
Nord's 30-day money-back
Because
guarantee.
I had
That's
ExpressVPN for
nordvpn.com/Mr.
a while.
Ballin, or
Didn't
click
end up
the link
getting,
in the description. Okay, back to the story.
through my antivirus software. They just gave me a VPN
When the
up to
third
my
siren
damn
came to a
cost.
stop, the friends started
Beat
to hear
their
a
ass.
new sound, and it was coming from the same direction the siren had been coming from, which in effect was upstream. Even though this river was basically dry, they could turn and look uphill, and they could clearly see where the river would go if it was full. And so the friends turn and look upstream, and they're listening to this really loud kind of smashing sound that's coming from that direction.
Oh,
And
it
they're exchanging
has to be
curious
a
looks at
dam.
each other, trying to figure out what that sound could be, and then all of a sudden they see it. A white wall of water comes crashing around the corner and began barreling straight down the
it's a
riverbed
dam.
towards them. By the time the friends had even processed what they were seeing, the water had reached the pool they were in, and it was flooding the pool so quickly they could literally see this huge pool rising. Its water levels were going up and up and up all around them. And so as the rocks they're standing on began to slowly submerge under all this rising water, the group collectively decided that this can't go on for very long. Whatever this is, it's going to stop, so just stay put, stay on these rocks, we're going to be okay. However, within seconds, the rocks they were on were completely submerged,
Oh, shit.
and the water was still tumbling down the hill towards their pool, and then spilling out over the other side. Down
So
the
this
other
is
end of the
normally
river. And they're thinking to themselves, if we don't get off these rocks
what they
soon,
call them?
we're going to get swept downstream
rapids?
with this water. And so the 2 men
White
who were
rapids?
on their own rock, they leapt to a rocky outcropping that was slightly higher up and was connected back up to the forest. And so this rocky outcropping represented safety. And so once they were up there, they turned around and they yelled to the 5
Damn, what
women
the
still
fuck?
stranded on their rock to try to swim over to them, and the guys would grab them and pull them to safety. But by this point, the girls are looking around, the water's up to their knees, and it's rushing past them. They can barely keep their balance. They know if they attempt to swim in this water, they're going to immediately be taken downstream with it. And so the group very quickly decides their only choice is for the women to literally jump and
Oh, this is a
grab
real
the
photo?
men who have their arms outstretched for them. And so Rachel DeJong, she was the first one to try this. She leaps off the rock, she grabs the guy's arms, and she gets pulled to safety. And then she turns around, and she and the other 2 men continue to get the women to jump off the rock to them. And at first, it's going fairly well until they get down to the second to last woman who leaps. She grabs one of the guy's arms, and then both of them lose their footing, and the guy and the woman, they both get swept away downstream.
Damn.
They're gone. Rachel stays calm, and she moves to
they're
the
gone.
position where the guy had been who just got swept away, and she takes out her GoPro camera selfie stick, and she extends it out to the last woman who's out on the rock. Her name is Alice, and she tells Alice, jump.
Ooh, I
and
bet
grab
she
the
is not
selfie
gonna want to
stick.
jump
So
after
Alice,
seeing
who's
them.
almost completely submerged in water now, makes this
Oh,
frantic
she did.
jump
Okay, I
to
thought she
grab
wouldn't.
onto the
She'd be
selfie
too
stick.
scared.
She grabs it for a second, but then loses her grip, and she begins being swept away. And Rachel, who at this point was completely safe, immediately jumped into the rapids after
wow.
Alice. She grabbed Alice. She attempted to
Not
turn
all
around
heroes
and
wear
grab
capes.
the rock to stop them, but she couldn't get a grip. And she and Alice were also swept downstream out of view. 2 weeks before Rachel, Maddie, Alice, and the others had gone to this secret swimming spot, a warning sign, like a physical warning sign that warned people not to go near this river, don't go near this pool, was stolen. And that warning sign was normally
Why?
placed at the very beginning of that unofficial dirt track that the seven friends.
Who the fuck steals a warning sign? Like, why? It's like it's. I think whoever did that wanted people to go down there and get swept away. Because, like, why? Why steal the sign? It's a sign that's specifically to keep people from going in that area because they open this dam and water rushes down. If someone is in that area, they can be swept away. So, like, why take the sign? Unless you want, unless you think, like, oh, this would be funny, or you just evil. Like, oh, people get people killed.
To get to the pool. Meaning, when the seven friends got out of their cars and began hiking into the forest to go to this pool, they would not have understood the danger of where they were going. Now, it is true that Rachel and Maddie had previously discovered this swim spot several months earlier. However, it seems like they had just learned that this swim spot existed and how to get to it. It did not seem like they had literally walked this trail and gotten to the pool, and so very likely they would not have known about the dangers this place posed. The pool of water they were swimming in was not actually dangerous itself. It was only dangerous because the pool was located in the middle of a spill zone. About 650 feet upstream of the pool they were swimming in is a dam, and 3 to 4 times a day, they open their gates, releasing 20,000 gallons of water per second down this mostly dry riverbed, and the water comes careening across that pool all the way to the bottom. The gates stay open for about 15 minutes, and the only reason this is done is for the spectacle of it. It's to show tourists what this riverbed looked like before the dam was built. And what this riverbed looked like before the dam was built was a raging rapid. On February 6th, 2017, the dam was set to spill at 12 p.m. So those sirens the friends heard at 11:55, 11:58, and then 12 were all warnings that a spill was about to occur. But of course, the seven friends had no idea. After the 12 p.m. spill had finally ended, the 3 friends who had made it to the rocky outcropping and had not been swept away by the current went looking for the 4 other friends who had been swept away.
Oh boy.
They would find them.
Ooh.
3 had miraculously survived, but 1 had not.
Oh, damn. Of
The
course,
sole
somebody
fatality
had
was
that.
21-year-old Rachel.
Oh, wow. The
whose
hero.
idea it was to come and swim at this spot in the first place.
Damn.
Rachel also was the woman who had left safety and jumped back into the rapids to attempt to save her friend Alice. Today, there are many more warning signs and fences that have been put up around the Waikato River to prevent people from getting too close, because the dam still, despite the fatality, spills several times a day.
Especially
However,
if they don't
despite
need
all
to.
these precautions
Like,
and all the notoriety around Rachel's death, people still today sneak in and go swimming in that secret pool.
okay, well, those people are idiots. If there's signs up and they're building fences.
So that's going to do it. If you got something out of this episode
that
and
was
you haven't done this
stupid.
already, please send the like button a beautifully wrapped gift for their birthday, but fill the gift with a spring-loaded boxing glove that punches them in the face as soon as they open it. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. We now have a podcast called the Mr. Ballin Podcast that puts out brand new podcast exclusive stories on Monday mornings and remastered versions of our best YouTube videos on Thursday mornings. This podcast is going to be
the girl who was
exclusive
saved,
to Amazon Music
that
starting
jumped in
November
to
1st
save her
this year.
friend.
But as of right now, it's still available on all podcast platforms.
I mean, I ain't really want anyone to
We
die.
now
That'd
have
have
a
been
registered 501c3 charitable organization.
I mean, I figured that
Foundation that makes it as easy as possible for you to join me, my family, and my team in supporting those whose lives have been most impacted by violent and heinous crimes. Monthly donors to the Mr. Ballin Foundation Honor Them Society will receive free gifts and exclusive invites to special live events. But the real reward is helping to rewrite the ending of the story for victims of violent crime. Go to MrBallin.Foundation and click Get Involved to join the Honor Them Society today. We also have 2 additional YouTube channels. One is called Mr. Ballin Shorts. The other is called Mr. Ballin en Espanol. We also put out near daily content on Facebook, Snapchat, and TikTok.
I wonder, does he speak Spanish?
If you want to get in touch with me, please follow me on any
is it like a voiceover
platform and then send me a direct message. My username is just @Mr. Ballin, and I really do read the majority of my DMs. We also have some really cool merchandise, so head on over to shopmrballin.com to have a look. And if you have a story suggestion, please submit it to our subreddit, just called Mr. Ballin. It's linked in the description below. So, whether I see you on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, YouTube, Facebook, other YouTube channels, the podcast...
I wanted to get in all his places so you can go and check him out if you looked at that. But I'm sure you watching me react to Mr. Ballin, you probably already know who he is, I'm sure. But yeah, that's damn. That is fucked up. But I mean, that she probably saved her friend. I mean, I don't know, like if when she went in and saved her friend, like that made no difference, and besides just causing her death, like maybe she saved her friend, maybe not, but still, she went in there to save her friend, and she does just. But I can see that, like if you hear a siren and nothing is happening where you're at, and you're like, we done heard this siren twice before, now this is the 3rd time, and nothing's happening. You just really, fuck it, ignore that. But I guess if like I said, that siren I heard, that tornado siren, that, because well, one thing I knew what the siren was. I guess if I heard some weird siren, I was like, I don't know what that siren is supposed to be for, and I was like, you be like, well, I don't know, but I knew what that tornado siren sounded like. But like a siren I hear is sometimes here, but they get tested. It's a tornado siren that I hear here, and they test it like every Wednesday, but they start testing it on the weekends sometimes too, at random. They don't do it all the time because I've heard it. Well, it's been months going by and I haven't heard it, and then all of a sudden I hear it, and then they do it every. Like I said, they still do it on Wednesday, but sometimes I hear it on like Saturdays or Sundays. But yeah, if it's like a siren that I don't know, I'm just like, I'd be like, well, the first probably 2 times I'd be concerned, and then if I hear it again and nothing is happening, like I don't know what, and especially if it's a clear day, is not a siren. If I don't know what the siren is for, then I'm like, is it and I know it's not an earthquake, like a tsunami is coming in or something like that. It's not a hurricane. It's not like, I don't know what that is. That might be maybe something nearby, and I may not know what it is, but man, that's fucked up. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed my reaction to one. If you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. I will be putting a link in the description to the video so you can go check out Mr. Ballin himself. Like, comment, subscribe to that channel. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.